Well, circling back to our top story, a survey on trust reveals declining confidence among Singaporeans on how innovation is being managed.
That's despite rising confidence in the government, which remains the most trusted institution in the country.
For a deep analysis on the findings of the Edelman Trust Barometer, we're joined by Associate Professor Prof Feida Zhu. He's Associate Dean of Partnerships and Engagement at the SMU School of Computing and Information Systems. Thanks so much for coming in this evening.
Thank you for having me here.
One statement we started with, 28% of respondents say innovation is poorly managed. Of course, what counts as poorly managed requires nuance and definition. But does this strike you as surprising?
Actually, this is not surprising because we know for a long time that technology has different impact on people's life. And depending on how you're exposed to this technology, whether you're those that are very good at using them or you feel you're very left behind, then you, of course, will develop very different feelings toward technology.
So you don't think this suggests that people are less willing to embrace technologies for all the advantages that that I suppose are fairly apparent? Should we be prepared to embrace these technologies?
I think this essentially underscores a broader anxiety. People just feel that, okay, it seems like greater technology is not always making our life easier. We're becoming, busier, and comparatively, it may not become better. So people are developing the sense of, worry, concern, anxiety over this technology. So as a consequence, they might have a very good trust toward what's coming. Yeah.
Well, the rift between innovation and society in the survey, the Edelman survey, is a new factor. It wasn't there last year. And it's causing further polarization. I'm wondering, does this worry you as a trend? And is it going to go any way to stopping the pace of innovation anyway?
I think there are lots of things we can do to actually bring back the trust for technology. And first of all, being fair is very important. So, if you only a small set of people are actually enjoying the benefits of technology, nobody's going to be happy. So we have to make sure that there is not going to be a significant difference in the perceived difference how people is affecting the, technology is affecting people's life. At the same time, transparency is very important. The industry leaders, the government leaders should have a very clear communication about all the benefits, the risk associated with the technology, not just the good things, so that people are not really shocked when they got something that isn't unexpected.
Transparency. Another finding in this survey was 1 in 2 feels that government regulators do not lack adequate understanding of these technologies to regulate them effectively. Now, they may want to be transparent, but to be fair, you work in government. How much time have you got to understand AI and then regulate and then explain transparently to people that you are regulating transparently? Is that a fair demand to be making of our government figures who, I suppose, ultimately will govern how far we go on these technologies?
Indeed. I mean, that's a real challenge. But I think our government is doing a pretty good job. For example, take AI, for example. So MAS has announced this Veritas framework a few years back, which governed the responsible use of AI for financial industry. Very quickly after, banks have been adopting this AI in their practice. And in general, this calls for a collective effort of business, government agencies, non-government organizations, higher learning institutions, as well as media to put together the effort so that, business driving the innovation, governments following up with the regulation.
Well, that sounds good on a strategic level, but, and it says if governments partner with businesses, trust levels go up.
Yes.
How does that look like, though?
Well, at the current stage, I would say a lot of new technology is coming up, and everybody's, all the business and are just worrying how to catch up with these new technologies so that they are not in the disadvantaged position. And the government agencies is also closely watching the development so that they can come up with appropriate measures, not to curb the innovation, but at the same time, not to let things go too wide.
Yeah. Okay, just want to look at a bit of the demographics of the Edelman survey. It talks about those that are resistant to innovation coming from middle-income respondents, i.e. 18 to 34 years old. As opposed to, I guess, one would have thought maybe the older generation or the lower income groups who sometimes fall through the technology crack. Is that surprising?
I think if you really think about that, it makes a lot of sense because these middle-aged people, they are engaged in the job that are most vulnerable to these technologies. They are engaged in jobs which are heavily procedural, information-rich.
18 to 34, you consider them middle-aged?
Actually,
I'm middle-aged. Older than that.
I think that's, but if you think about it, these people are doing a lot of information-rich these jobs, and nowadays AI is taking up these jobs quickly, and they are also having high expectation, for example, about what technology can potentially helping them. So there is this gap, and at the same time, they also have this awareness that they can tell the difference between AI is helping some people, but not others. So expectation, awareness, as well as being affected by this AI, I think all these things can coming together so that this group of people is the most, so-called the negatively feeling group. Yeah, I think it's natural.
We all know, we use the word transparency like we know what it means, we know how to implement something transparently, and we know if you communicate clearly, honestly, sincerely, transparently, that message would get across better than one that is not communicated that way. For all the efforts that government, media, businesses, NGOs have put into communicating the benefits of emerging technologies, where would you suggest they refine their methods so this message gets carried across better?
I think a lot of times, the public need to see, for example, industrial leaders are talking about the ethical usage of these things. And they want to see, for example, scholars or professors are analyzing, debating about things in media so that they are aware that all leaders of the society are actually playing a leading role in this. So a lot of this exposure to these discussions and these interactions that will generally help the public to quickly pick up these concepts and to rest assured that, while we have all these risks with the technology, but overall this technology is going to help us in a positive way in the long run.
All right, so the positives outweigh the negatives, is that?
I believe so, yeah.
All right, we'll leave it there for now, but we do appreciate you coming by, speaking with us, speaking there with Associate Professor Prof Feida, Associate Dean of Partnerships and Engagement at the SMU School of Computing and Information Systems.